Hello, welcome to Paul's Take, and this is my take on this roof rack. I was needing a roof rack and I didn't know where to go. I knew where to go. I went to Amazon, of course. I got everything. And I went straight to Amazon's Choice. And Amazon's Choice was, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but it looks like Otherya Aero. So it's a 54-inch aluminum crossbars. So let me show you basically how to install it, and then we'll see how it looks and I'll tell you what I think of it. And for reference, this is a 2012 Jeep Liberty. Now this is the second one I ordered because the first one was too small. So make sure you measure out where the attach points. So this attaches to your existing roof rack. This is of course the crossbars. So make sure you check where it crosses, and there's a maximum length. This one adjusts pretty big, so, but there is a smaller one if you have a smaller vehicle, because this vehicle is massive. Maybe, I don't know. But make sure you measure for yourself so you can make sure you get the right size. Also, this attaches to a raised rail. So you're on your existing roof rack that runs alongside the car. It has to be raised, and also you definitely need a roof rack. Some of them are flush and you won't be able to attach, so make sure it's raised so you can like grab onto it from all around. It doesn't go all the way around, but you pretty much need access to the whole thing. Alright, so let me give you the quick play-by-plays of what it takes to put this thing on. It's actually rather simple. These little claws, they loosen and they tighten, and that's what clamps it onto the rails that are alongside of your, it's on your vehicle. So once you have it on, you have to, make sure it's even on both sides. And then once it's even, you stick this little Allen wrench into a little hole on the very end, like I'm doing right here. So you look in the little hole, you see where the Allen wrench goes into, and obviously to loosen is counterclockwise, and to tighten is clockwise. So you'll need to loosen it up first to clamp it on, and then you'll need to tighten it up to grip it. But don't grip it all the way until you center the top rail. And on the first side, there's two sides. One side you don't need a key. The second side, like this side I'm working on now, the first one, you don't need a key on the right side of the screen. When you go over to the left side, you actually will need a key to give you access to the screw, the Allen wrench hole or whatever, to tighten it and loosen it. Otherwise, somebody could steal it. So that's why the key is there, to give you access to that one side. Keeps it in place. So now I come over to the left side of the screen and I realize I didn't put the key in. I didn't have access to the clamp, to the screw. But now I got the key in there, and now I have access. Okay, so now I actually pull out my tape measure to make sure it's even on both sides. And now that I'm confident that both sides are nice and evenly spaced, I lock it down real tight. This will be the final lockdown. Now that all of them are all nice and tight, there's one final thing you have to do, and this is the hardest part. They come with these strips. They're rubber strips with some grooves on them. The idea is you slide them underneath, or you kind of pop them in place underneath the rail, because underneath the rail on the edges where the clamps slide back and forth, well, now there's a gap in the rail underneath of it. So these little rubber pieces slide underneath there so that way it's nice and flush. Otherwise, apparently, when you're driving down the highway, it'll basically make a bunch of noise. You'll hear the wind catch it. It might whistle or something, or howl, or make some crazy stuff. So you put these rubber pieces in place so it seals up the gaps from where it slides back and forth. Now, they don't come pre-sized because depending on the size of your vehicle, depends on how much you actually need. So you have to measure it and then cut it. Now, my measurements were kind of crude, but I don't think it has to be perfect. It depends on how much of a perfectionist you are. Mine were pretty close. They still had a little bit of a gap, but I took it down the highway for its maiden voyage. I drove for about an hour and a half on the freeway, and I didn't notice any sounds. It didn't sound different at all. So it seemed like I did a good enough job where I put them in place well enough so it wasn't howling or squealing, or there was no noticeable difference with this rack on your vehicle. At least I didn't notice anything. Of course, I don't think I was really listening too much beforehand, but I didn't notice anything unusual or annoying, so I guess it's fine. Now, the reason why I got this rack was to get a basket rack. Those metal baskets put on top, so that'll be coming in later on this week. So watch out for that video, because that way I can put a bunch of luggage on top of there. This will be like my Overlander vehicle. So make sure you hit like and subscribe to watch the whole complete build of the progression of this vehicle. This is, like I said, my 2012 Jeep Liberty, and hopefully become like an Overlander type-ish vehicle. I just got this thing, so it's pretty exciting to see it kind of slowly come together. And that's all there is to it. So here it is here in my garage. So you get a kind of a quick look. But here it is outside at the trailer park. So like I said, it sounds good. It actually looks good. It has a nice look to it. My vehicle's black, and I think the chrome, or I won't say chrome, but the metal look kind of gives a nice little offset of color. It breaks it up a little bit. But like I said, there's going to be one of those baskets on top of there, so it's not going to make a difference probably. But it looks good. I like the way it looks a lot. It doesn't look cheap. It looks solid. It has a 200-pound weight capacity, so it should be enough. I guess that's for like when you're actually driving down the road. But yeah, I think it came out really well. It's priced well, and it looks good. I think it'll do a great job. Thanks for watching Paul's Take.